That shit ain't funny. Marvin's comebacks would make the audience laugh more than his planned jokes did. But Marvin was no Richard Pryor, no Eddie Murphy. Marvin was Marvin. And the Marvin she knew cursed only occasionally and rarely on stage. But now he wanted to change his image totally. Clean comedy is safe, but doesn't go over well, he told her one night. Not in clubs. He rattled off half a dozen names of comedians who had started with him, whose routines had never been clean, who were now in Hollywood making movies while Marvin was still in Detroit living with his parents. Georgia reminded him that he had opened for the Gospel Explosion in Hart Plaza, a gig he'd gotten only because his comedy was so clean. And he reiterated that, despite that booking, they were still living with his parents. Shit happens. The title of his routine was appropriate for their life. That much Georgia couldn't argue, because the shit that had happened to them a few years earlier was the same shit that caused them to now live with his parents. She heard the television blaring outside the bathroom, heard her voice and their laughter, hers and Marvin's, on tape. She knew he was watching that home video again, the one that brought back so many memories. "Turn that shit down," Marvin's father shouted. Her father-in-law's shouting nearly made Georgia plug her ears. She opened the bathroom door and peeked around it. "Marvin, please turn that down," Georgia said. "Don't get him started, not today. I can't take it. My spirit is so filled up right now. But once he gets on a roll, I'll end up deflated. You know how he can be. It's not even that loud. I feel like a 10-year-old kid in this house." "I know, baby, but it is their house, so we have to do what they say." He sighed and shook his head, biting his bottom lip as he tried to control his frustration. "I said turn that shit down now. If you want to hear some surround sound, go to the damn movies. But right now, I want to hear myself think." Marvin was sitting on the edge of the bed, watching the video of their earlier life, their wedding, and the move into their first home. "Marvin, please," Georgia pleaded. "I just want one day of peace." He picked up the remote control and lowered the volume. She sighed in relief. "Thank you." "Are you getting ready to go somewhere?" "Just to Farmer Jack's. I need to grocery shop for our Christmas dinner. 2 days till Christmas, baby," Georgia said as she sat in a small chair in the corner of their bedroom and put on her socks and gym shoes. "Yeah, 2 days before I'm reminded of how big a failure I am." "How do you figure that?" "Because I don't have shit." "There you go with that word. Shit, shit, shit. Between your father and now you, that's all I hear in this house. Do you want to go shopping with me?" "I need to get my new routine down if I'm going to perform it tonight." "Baby, I swear. I'm going to get us out of here and into our own place real soon." He turned his attention back to the television. "Can I say something?" she asked, ready to share her honest opinion with him about the routine. "Yeah." He turned to face her, and when his sincere eyes met hers, she was lost for words. "I can't believe you're watching that again. That's the past. We're trying to move forward. It's our life, baby. When we had it good. We still have it good. Well, when we had it better." She sat beside him to view a little of the video, taking a few moments to reflect. She smiled when the exterior of their West Side Detroit brick colonial flashed. Georgia remembered all too well how much pleading she had to do just so Marvin would put a bid on the house. He felt it was much too small, and he always set his sights big. But since it was the house Georgia wanted so badly, he wanted her to have it. It was a simple home, but she had fallen in love with the kitchen, with its built-in nook and a window over the sink. Such a shame we lost it after Marvin was laid off from his factory.